Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today is a review for the Real Housewives of Potomac. So if this is your first time tuning in, remember to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any more of my videos. You've missed too many already. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I missed like the first 10 minutes of the episode, and apparently I ain't missed too much because it was just Giselle and Juan going to green shop. I caught a little glimpse of it on the Instagram, so I can tell you what I saw. The first ring that they showed was like, come on now, like, I don't remember, it was something crazy, $60,000, $80,000, I don't know, something that could have went on this tax debt. Okay, I know Juan said that this was Robin's issue, but if you talking about marrying her, you marrying the debt. So that lets me know right there they ain't getting married no time soon. Hello. Anyway, they ended up settling on like this morganite ring with that was surrounded by, it was a pretty ring. I thought it was cute. I like morganite rings. You know, morganite rings definitely make you feel extra grandiose and huge because you can get a really big rock for a lot cheaper than like a big diamond, and they're still just as pretty. So I like the ring, although this whole scene to me was just like filler. And I'm glad that I missed it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm glad I caught the highlight of it on Instagram. I don't care about Giselle trying to bring it back to her and Jamal. I don't care about Juan and Robin and this wedding or marriage or whatever. Like, y'all have been married. Yeah, y'all been divorced, but y'all have been married. Moving on. The next scene we had was a scene with Monique packing up like goodie bags for the Not for Lazy Moms podcast. And she talked about how she was embarrassed about the situation and that, you know, she was going to reach out to Candiace and apologize, but then it became legal so she didn't. And honestly, I understand that, like, once it's legal, I guess you're not supposed to talk to anyone, but I feel like, well, then again too, I guess if you send her an apology text, that would be like an admission, so I guess it would not be wise to send it. But anyway, yeah, that was the scene. Again, I missed it. Moving on. I actually started watching the episode when Karen and Ray went to this therapy session. Now, what I'm not understanding is, like, you're talking all this junk about how Ray doesn't like therapists and he doesn't believe in therapy, but y'all are doing therapy, just not with someone who's licensed as a therapist. It's still therapy. The first little sit down you had with the radio host, now you're having a sit down with the life coach. She's talking about all the tools that she's going to give you. It's therapy, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, during this therapy session, we really get to kind of dive into the breakdown in their marriage and how Ray feels like, you know, he's older, he's working on his third retirement while Karen is out here blossoming and blooming, and he doesn't feel appreciated. He doesn't feel like he's a priority anymore. And it was you could tell that this was I feel like it was a real scene. At the end of it, they were able to kind of come together, and Ray was able to say some things that made Karen feel better. It's not going to be over. This is definitely going to be a work in progress. Yeah, it's definitely going to take more work, especially because, I mean, at the end of the day, Ray is an older man who's set in his ways, and he's tired. He doesn't want to do this. Like, Karen is already a big personality. You can just tell that Karen has always been like this big personality, coming from a small town into being like the person that kind of got out and got away, you know, and now she's the grand dame of Potomac and she's on this reality show. I'm sure she is feeling herself a little bit, and Ray is just not here for any of that. Honestly, I think that it would probably benefit their marriage a little bit more if Ray was not on camera that much, which, I mean, he's not on camera a lot now, but like if they kind of separated it a little bit more, I think that would be more helpful to their marriage, because at the end of the day, we all know that reality shows tend to mess up a marriage and tend to strain marriages, and you can just tell this isn't what he signed up for. This isn't what he thought it was going to be. He's just not here for it. So then we have another scene with Wendy, and so basically this scene was just to set up that she is hosting another event. They are definitely giving Wendy a lot of events, especially being the new wife. Like, Wendy's getting a lot of events. That's two events in 2 episodes. Like, that's a lot. So one quick thing of that scene, I just found it funny that, you know, she pumped the liquid gold and, you know, she was like, oh, y'all want some, whatever. I know some people might think that that is weird, but as a person who is a as a mother who breastfed and stuff like that, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with mommy's milk. We drink cow's milk. I know that there are people online that had something to say about that. I ain't got nothing to say about it, you know. And I thought it was funny. She was like, well, I give daddy his milk. Ooh, Wendy, you being nasty. How you got them 3 kids? You being nasty. I see you. I see you. But don't worry, because I'm going to see you later. You just wait. Okay? But anyway, so we get the scene, of course, of her calling all the girls and inviting them. And then once she talks to Candiace, Candiace explains to her that she is still dealing with the trauma of the event, that she's having panic attacks and, you know, all of this kind of stuff. And, you know, Wendy makes it clear that she's not going to invite Monique. And, you know, she just wants positive women. And she keeps throwing those shots. Like, even when she didn't invite her to the babies event last week, which I know I did not do a review on. I'm sorry, you guys. I was traveling and I don't feel like going back and reviewing it. So, it is what it is. But just like she was doing last week, she kept throwing shots about how, you know, she just wants positive women there and all this kind of stuff. And that's aggravating to me. Like, Wendy is beginning to aggravate me with how hard she's going at Monique. Because it kind of seems like she's going this hard to fit in. But, again, we'll get there a little bit later. Anyway, during this talk, I will say that, although... I'm trying to figure out how to say this because I don't want to seem callous, but like, I get that it was a lot to be in this fight and I'm sure that it was traumatizing, but like, the way Candiace has continued to speak on how she's having panic attacks and how she has to tell herself every day in the mirror that she's going to be okay, and she has to put sticky notes up and she's afraid of what's going to happen next and all this kind of stuff. It just seems like a lot, and it seems like she's putting all of that on it so that it can kind of hold more weight when she discusses it in court. However, I do want to say I don't know what it's like to like get beat up and then have all the internet picking on you. So I'm sure that she is going through a lot. And who am I to say if you can or cannot have panic attacks? Who am I to say it? But it seems extremely excessive, and it seems like it just doesn't seem like a reaction that like an adult would have. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, this seems like the type of reaction that like young kids and teenagers would have after a fight. And this really could have been Candiace's first fight, and you know, she ain't know how to take it, you know. But I did kind of feel a little sorry for her on the phone, but it's like every time I start to feel sorry for Candiace, I'm reminded of her mouth and how reckless her mouth can be, and then it takes all of the little piece of sorriness that I have for her and it just like dissipates it. Okay, moving on. We had a quick little scene with Giselle taking Jamal to the airport, and they're talking about the status of their relationship, and Jamal seems like he doesn't care. Next scene. We had the Not for Lazy Moms podcast, and before the podcast starts, they're doing like the briefing, and Monique is making it clear what she will and will not talk about. And so the very first question that we get is asking about her relationship with Candiace. Like, come on, moderator, now I told you, like, girl, you fired. You fired. Wizard Kelly voice. Like, no. But anyway, Ashley is the only person to show up and support the event. Monique talks about how Karen texted her that morning and let her know that she was sick. and Monique was kind of feeling some type of way that Karen wasn't coming. That aggravated me because it's like at the end of the day, she Monique, you know, compared it to her coming to the event when she was pregnant and stomach out to here and all this kind of stuff. That aggravated me. Like, that was being really selfish. Like, at the end of the day, I get that you want your friends there, but if someone's sick, or if she lets you know that she's sick and she can't make it, then it just is what it is. She can't make it. But we already know that Monique is like a perfectionist, a very, like I said before, a very type A type of person. And so if it doesn't go exactly how she wants it, she feels some type of way about it. And it does not help that Karen did not show up, and Ashley shows up and tells her about Karen, her and Giselle's conversation. And in that conversation, Karen talked about how if it was her, she would have pressed charges. Now that really did like take Monique aback. She was very shocked by that. And Ashley showed us like the old Ashley. You know, Ashley has always been the one who, you don't say nothing in front of honey. Ashley will be the bone collector, the bone carrier, and and you knew in the scene when Karen said that, Ashley was like, okay, check, I'm definitely gonna let Monique know this. And I don't think I spoke about that in my review on it. I don't think I really spoke about my opinion on that. And here's the thing. I get that Karen is trying to remain neutral, and overall I think she's doing a really good job of remaining neutral. But just because I'm remaining neutral doesn't mean I'm not going to like express my opinion. And if I felt assaulted, and Karen said if I felt physically assaulted, then I'm going to press charges. Also, Karen's a 50-year-old woman, like you know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily mad that Candiace pressed charges. I think that it's a lot to say that she's like, oh, I want jail time and all this kind of stuff. I mean, in the real world, like in non-reality TV world, if they got into an altercation and she pressed charges and all of this kind of stuff, then, you know, that's par for the course. In reality TV world, though, you guys, like, it's a little different. And it aggravates me when I look online and everybody is just in all this uproar and, oh, well, this isn't Love and Hip Hop. But at the end of the day, it's all reality TV. We watch it for this type of drama. This is what we watch these shows for. And so it's kind of like the risk you take when you go on these type of shows. Do I think that it warrants pressing charges when you're on these type of shows? No. Now, in the real world, that's completely different. And so I think when Karen was giving her advice, Karen was saying in a regular real world circumstance, if I felt assaulted, if I got assaulted, I'm pressing charges. And I don't think that she was being a bad friend to say it. I just think the mistake came in her not relaying that she said that to Monique and having Ashley have to be the one to bring that to her. Because that makes it seem like she's being two-faced and shady. And again, it doesn't help that, like, then you're bringing me this information at my event that she already backed out of at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that was like a lot for Monique to take in at that moment. And I'm sure she probably was questioning her friendship with Karen. But we did see this week on the Instagram that Monique put up a post and basically said that her and Karen are very close. They're very good friends. She's been a very supportive friend. They have no ill will, no issues or anything like that. I will try to put the post up here on the screen if I can still find it, if it's still up. Then we have this little filler scene with Robin sitting down with her parents. Everybody's out there bowling. And she's telling her parents about her tax issues. And I mean, it's been on the blogs. The parents have already seen it. The mama looks like she's over it. The daddy looks like he's over it. Like, Robin, and she talks about how her dad told her before to stay up on the taxes. Robin, no one has any sympathy for you. Like, these are things that you should have had figured out and fixed a while ago. We also see Juan asked her parents for like permission, I guess, for her hand in marriage or whatever. No one seems enthused. Like, that entire scene just seemed so forced and boring. I'm sorry. I don't care. Moving on. So now we get to Wendy's wine down, or wine with Wendy, whatever the event is where they're discussing politics. And so when they were showing the clips of her doing the panel and actually discussing it, like, that is the Wendy that I enjoy seeing. Like, every time, like, we see glimpses of Wendy that make me want to like her, but then she steps out of her like work hat and puts on the housewife hat, and I don't like it. I don't like it. While she was up there talking, it seemed very informative. Everybody seemed like they were very much so engaged. It seemed like a nice little event. It seemed like there was a lot of people there. So that part was good. But then we get into the women talking. First of all, let's talk about Robin and this horrible wig. Everybody read that wig down. Robin, what's up with you in these wigs this season? You know what? I tell you what. You hit me up. Contact us at bestowstyling.com. I will make a wig for you. Okay? I'll do it off of GP. I will get you a custom wig, honey, and we won't have these mistakes. We won't have these issues anymore, honey. Leave those wig store wigs at the wig store, because they don't work for you. They don't work for you. I'll make you one. I'll get you one that's gonna get you that $50,000-$60,000 ring from Juan. Okay, he's gonna get you that ring, and he's gonna pay off your taxes, but with the wig I would make for you. Okay, but them, you need to leave them in the bag somewhere, in the plastic bag where you got them from. You need to leave them there. Okay. Anyway, so the event went well. The women began to talk. So Karen and Candiace, they go downstairs to talk, and the other women are upstairs to talk. So the women upstairs are talking about Karen's marriage, and Wendy makes it a point to say that while they were drunk a few weeks ago at Monique's house, how Karen basically talked about how she bailed Ray out because of his tax situation, and how she still feels some type of way about it. Now, that was not a conversation for Wendy to be bringing back to this group. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that it seems like Wendy is really, really trying hard to get on team Giselle and Robin. Because first off, why did that conversation even come up? Like, where did that, it seemed like it came out of the clear blue sky. Like, why now are you bringing up, like, this is something y'all talked about damn near a month ago. Why now are you bringing it up to the group? Like, oh, well, I think that Karen and Ray are really having issues because she had to pay for his taxes. Da. Robin of all people, you don't open your mouth and say nothing about nobody's nothing. And it was like the second that Wendy said that, it's like, Giselle is just no one's friend. It's just that's all I can say. Like, Giselle is just no one's friend. It seemed like it brought her so much delight to be like, oh, is that why she's upset? And oh, so she had to bail out her friend. Like, they're in a marriage at the end of the day. We're married. So my money is your money. Your tax issues are my tax issues. We have to figure it out. We have to get this together. And so, who did not think that Karen had to contribute in some way to those tax issues? Like, how else do you think they got out of them? Like, she's making money now too. So, yeah, I'm sure that did cause some kind of strain. But it was weird that Karen brought that up in front of Wendy when we already know that she's not seeing it for Wendy. I think it only was brought up at that moment because of Karen was drinking, and because her walls were down a little bit. I think that's why it was brought up. But that just is going to further put the nail in the coffin as to why Karen ain't gonna F with Wendy, period. Because, like, I gave you a moment of me being vulnerable, and the first thing you do with that vulnerable moment is run back and tell the entire group about it. Wendy You're like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. And meanwhile, downstairs we have Candiace and Karen talking, and basically Candiace is just like, I feel like you're straddling the fence. I want you to be on my side, and I don't feel like you're being on my side. And when I say that Karen dressed her down, Karen was like, young lady, what you're not going to do is tell me how to think and what to say, because I have been on your side and I've been on her side. And Karen told Candiace exactly what it was. She said, you're a very smart woman. Your mind is brilliant, but your mouth is reckless. And that's just what it is. Like, I need us to stop acting like Candiace's mouth is not the reason why she got popped. And Candiace's mouth would not get her popped in other situations. Like, is that right? Is that mature? No, it's not. However, you can't be speaking reckless to everybody. Just like in the last episode where she basically came for Ashley's marriage, and Chris had to tell her to shut up. Like, your mouth is ridiculous. The things that Candiace says cuts just as deep as if she was cutting you with a knife. And so it's unfair to sit up here and be like, oh, well, I can say any and everything that comes to my brain. I can say it, and you have to just, you are not allowed to react in the way that is natural for you to react. Again, it does not justify her being physically assaulted. However, even though it doesn't justify it, I understand it. And she still ain't learned her lesson, because she still talks reckless. And so I appreciate Karen when Karen was like, look, I stood by you when you were wrong. When other people want to throw you away, I still stood by you, and I'm going to do the same with Monique. Karen stood in that like a grown woman. She said, baby, what you're not going to do is try to make me be on this herd mentality. Somewhere in this conversation, Wendy decides to come down and inserts herself into the conversation. And this is what I'm talking about, where Wendy is beginning to wear me out. Like, every time I want to like her, she wears me out. Because this is not your fight. This has absolutely nothing to do with you. You're new here. Why do I have to keep saying that? But like, you're new here. Like, she seems so overly invested in this altercation between Candiace and Monique, and disliking Monique. And I don't understand why. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why she feels this strongly about it, and we're not even this invested in you as a character on the show, you know. So when she came down and inserted herself into the situation, Karen got her together real quick. And Karen caught it because she realized they had escalated to a point where it didn't need to escalate. But also, these women need to stop trying to, like, it's like, why is it that you have to pick a side? What are, like, we're saying how we're not in high school, but y'all still want to act like you're in high school. So we have a fight, now I gotta pick a side. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I respect Karen again for standing 10 toes down. Like, I am your friend and I am her friend, and I'm not gonna throw either one of you away. And the fact that they keep saying that Karen did not hold Monique accountable is a bold-faced lie. Karen told Monique that she was wrong. Then they played the clip of her telling Monique that she was wrong. Like, what more do you want her to do? You were wrong. I'm not gonna stop being your friend, but you were wrong. You were dead wrong. Period. Can someone tell Candiace that she was dead wrong? No one? No one? It's the same thing as I can remember someone in my comments brought this up, and it's so true. Y'all are so busy. Y'all wanted Candiace to give Ashley an apology, and Ashley wasn't going to do it until she felt like it. That was the same thing that happened with Monique. The same exact thing. So instead, now the energy that y'all were using to kind of bash Candiace, oh, now Candiace is a victim, so now you're going to put it all to Monique. That junk is just, that would get on my doggone nerves. I'm not going to lie to you. And y'all know who the ringleader of that mess is. And I ain't even got to say it. You know who the ringleader of that mess is. And she been waiting on the reason since the beginning. I don't think that it's right that they're not even talking to Monique. You know what I'm saying? Like, we seen this happen. They had that one conversation with Monique, and then it's like they have completely cut her off. How do you know how she feels? This 2 weeks later. Now she does feel remorseful. Whether y'all say it's because, for whatever reason, we saw her have the sit down with her pastor. Now she's feeling more remorseful. But they're not even willing to hear it and listen to it. It's like, if you don't say it when I want you to say it, how I want you to say it, then forget about it, then it never existed. I don't feel like she's apologized. I don't feel like she's learned her lesson in 2 weeks. But you expect her to have learned her lesson in 2 days when it was time to talk to y'all. How do you know what? Have you talked to her, Robin? How do you know how she feels today? You don't. Because you're so stuck up the groups, like this group think mentality that is driving me crazy. So meanwhile, while they're down there and Karen is getting it together and letting them know, honey, what you're not going to do is tell me how to think. Upstairs, they're trying to brainwash Ashley. Like, Ashley, well, why are you on Monique's side? And now I'm going to say this now. Ashley, your reason for being on Monique's side seemed a little bit off. Because what you basically were saying was that the only reason that you're on Monique's side is because Monique could have exposed your husband last season and she chose not to. That's kind of what it seemed like you were saying. It wasn't because it's not like you were saying, oh, well, I'm on her side because, you know, people make mistakes and so I'm just not going to throw her away or what. No, it was kind of like, because Monique stood with me last season with all this stuff and she had tapes and she didn't get into it. It's kind of seeming like Monique had some stuff on Michael and that's why you are on her side. Or it could have just clearly been playing, you know, seeing both sides. It could just clearly be like, look, she wasn't out here judging me and judging my relationship and trying to put the nail in the coffin over here on my side, so I'm not going to do it with her. That could have been what she meant. However, what it sounded like she was saying was that Monique knew some other stuff. And it just didn't come off. It didn't come off right. And at the end of the day, why do I have to explain to the group why I'm choosing to stick by someone who I consider to be a friend? I'm choosing to stick by them because I consider her to be a friend. That's why. So I'm just not going to throw her away. Was she wrong? Yes. But I'm just not going to throw her away. And at the end of the day, we all know that Candiace and Ashley ain't really friends like that anyway. So I'm not going to take your side. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But anyway, y'all, that was this episode. It was real fillerish. It wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Final thoughts, Wendy. You are real hot and cold. Like it's like you take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back with me. I don't know how I'm feeling about Wendy. Y'all drop down in the comments and tell me y'all thoughts on Wendy. And how she's handling the Monique situation. And how she is going back to the group and talking about Karen's business and what she said in confidence to them. Tell me about your thoughts on the Not for Lazy Moms podcast. I don't know if it went good. I mean, it seemed like there were some people in there, but I already told y'all I think Monique is doing too much with that podcast and she needs to pull it back a little bit. Tell me what you think about Juan and Robin. Do you care? I don't. And tell me what you think about this fake relationship between Jamal and Giselle, because it's fake. Alright, you guys, thank y'all for tuning in. I try to do this every week. We will be getting back to my regularly schedule for uploading videos on YouTube, because I'm almost not a nomad anymore. I'm like this close. So thank y'all for sticking with me. Also, make sure you come back this Friday for Face Beat Friday, honey. You do not want to miss this week's video. I will be doing a collab with Miss LQ Love, the 2 Girls 1 Palette collab. So y'all do not want to miss it. Thank you, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.